Resilience, determination, and unity. 3 words that have been so far away from words to describe Tottenham Hotspur this season. But tonight, against Frankfurt, we saw all of them working in harmony. Tottenham have booked their place in the Europa League semi-final, something I'm sure most of us did not think was possible. We went to Frankfurt away, we beat them, we shut them out, stopped them from scoring at home for the first time in over 3 years, and we are in the final 4 of another European competition. I have nothing but good words to say about the players, the coaching staff, Ange Postecoglou, the fans, everyone tonight, because it was a big night, Tottenham's biggest night of the season so far, and everybody stepped up. And that's just all we've been asking for. For so many weeks now, we've just been asking for Tottenham players to put on the performance that is worthy of our support, and they truly delivered that tonight. It was a horrible evening, and from a fan's perspective, I'm sure most of you are like me and felt it was very difficult to watch. It's always nervy when so much is on the line, but boy, the relief and the celebrations at full time. It's just, we deserve it. None of you can disagree with me here. We deserved that result and that performance because we have suffered this season. We have suffered so much, and we did what we needed to do. It was raining, it was loud, the atmosphere was hostile. We went into the game with such a poor away record, but we did it. That is all that needs to be said. I'm so happy, as I'm sure you can see. I cannot stop smiling, and I just want to talk about the game because I thought we executed it perfectly. Now, I know Tottenham are supposed to have this reputation of being an attacking, free-flowing, front-foot football team, but that doesn't necessarily always work, especially against these hard European clubs who know how to win. I think Frankfurt won the Europa League a few years ago, and they were a very good side in that sense, and it's just really refreshing to see that we were able to see the flip side of Tottenham. It's just the case that we were able to go away from home to a very tough stadium and defend really well when we needed to, hit them on the counter-attack when we needed to. And I think every player to a T was faultless tonight. I can't pick out a bad performance from that starting 11. And yes, we had our captain Heung-min Son missing, and there's a lot of debate around whether it was maybe a good thing that he wasn't available to the squad, but the players that did start, the players that did play, amazing. James Maddison, I want to give a shout out to him for a very specific reason, right? Because they said it on commentary during the game. When that ball was played over the top for Maddison to get on the end of when we won our penalty, he saw the keeper coming, right? He would have seen the keeper coming, and he so easily could have stopped his run or ducked out the way. He backed himself to get to the ball first, and when he did, he got absolutely clattered. And shout out to the referee tonight, by the way. He was one of the worst referees I have ever had the pleasure of watching. I thought he was terrible, and he should never be allowed near a top-level game again. It was absolutely awful for both sides, may I add, for Tottenham and for Frankfurt. Nevertheless, luckily VAR is in the game in this case, and they managed to send him over to the screen, and Tottenham did get their penalty. And for a long time, it looked like Matthias Tell was going to take it. Now, of course, there was that drama between him and Brendan Johnson over who was going to take the penalty against Southampton a couple of weeks ago. Tell ended up taking it off Johnson when he was on a hat-trick, but he did score. And Tell had the ball under his arm for a long time tonight as well. But you could see Ange Postecoglou on the sideline bellowing. He was saying, Dom! He wanted Solanke to take the ball, and it was the right call because Solanke stepped up, and it was the coolest penalty. I've not seen a penalty taker at Tottenham that cool from 12 yards since Harry Kane. Of course, we know how good he was at penalties, and Solanke, he stepped up to the moment and he scored the decisive goal, the goal that sent us into the semi-finals of the Europa League. And his relentless pressing was a huge factor to helping us. I wouldn't even say we were really under the cosh against Frankfurt tonight. I wasn't as impressed as I thought I was going to be with them. They just lacked a little bit of something, and maybe that was a little bit to do with Mario Götze going off early on with his hamstring injury, and I felt bad for him because He only played 14 odd minutes, and he's a big player for them. Frankfurt aren't a bad side. They're third in the Bundesliga. Only behind Bayer Leverkusen and Bayern Munich. So they're not a team to be taken for granted, especially when Tottenham is sitting 15th in the Premier League. But I think we dealt with them really well, and we've spent so many weeks now slating maybe Postecoglou's tactics and the player selections, but he got a lot right tonight. I actually think he got the starting lineup spot on. Brennan Johnson maybe was the questionable one when you've got Kulusevski on the bench, you've got Wilson Odobert on the bench, you've got Richarlison on the bench, but it took him 20, 30 minutes maybe, but Brennan Johnson did then eventually grow into the game, and he was quite impactful, especially when we needed him on the break. And Kulusevski, shout out to him, he's just come back from injury, had to replace Maddison just before half time, and he put a shift in. Yes, he may not be fully up to match fitness yet, but he did the running, and that's what Ange Postecoglou asked of his players, to put the effort in. That's why he loves Solanke so much. That's why he loves Kulusevski. At the back, I think we were very good, bar a couple of scary moments where it looked like we were just going to get done in behind, which, we've seen that so many times. But Pedro Porro was excellent. Destiny Udogie, fantastic. I think his last 2 games in Europe, Destiny Udogie, he's been brilliant. Can't fault him at all. Lucas Bergvall, I thought, had one of his more quiet games tonight, but nonetheless, he wasn't awful. He did what he needed to do. Bentancur was good. I thought he really stood out. It was nice to see Danso back on the pitch as a late substitution as well. Matthias Tell, he needs another shout out as well, because he played really well. And I think he's warranting a starting place in that lineup now, from now until the end of the season. I know it depends on maybe how long Sonny's injured for, but Tell, he just gives a different dimension to our team, in the terms of he will take his player on, he will cut inside, he will have shots. He's just so full of confidence, and we miss that in our team. And finally, coming around to the point I want to sort of sum up on this whole game, is the resilience and the grit of that team, doing what they needed to do. It was messy, it was scrappy, it was feisty. We love to see a little bit of fight from our players sometimes, and again, that's been missing for so long under Ange Postecoglou, but we saw it tonight, and now we need to bottle that performance, and we need to take that into every single game that we play from now until the end of the season and beyond. Like, who knows? We are 3 games away from a European trophy. We are 2 games away from the Europa League final, and whether it be Bodo Glimt or Lazio, I haven't finished watching the games yet, and I'm recording this as extra time is going on, and Man United are losing as well, funnily enough. But, regardless as to who we get, I am now confident that we can deal with the challenge in front of us, and we can go at the teams that we need to book our place in that final. I think on the other side of the draw, Bilbao are a very dangerous team. Lyon are a very dangerous team. And if United do manage to somehow now turn it around, I think they were 2 goals down in extra time or whatever it be, then they would be a tough team to face. But look, we did the job that we needed to do. 1-1, I don't think any of us were feeling very confident going into the second leg against Frankfurt. 1-1. I think most of us would agree that we needed a lead going into that game. We didn't have one. We had to make do. Shout out to the Tottenham fans. It was very hard to hear you because of how noisy the Frankfurt fans were in their home stadium. But they were amazing as usual. And Tottenham are in the Europa League semi-finals. So has your opinion now changed? Can we win the competition? Some of you will say we thought that we could have won it all along, and I agree with that. I've always said that we can win the Europa League. Of course, my belief has dwindled in recent weeks, recent months. Everybody's has, but here we are. 2 more games to a European final. 2 more games until we are all flying out to Bilbao. Non-negotiable. If we get to that final, I'm heading out there. I want you guys to head out there. But let's not get too carried away first. There are 2 more games, and regardless as to which team it is in the semi-final, it's going to be a very difficult match. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please drop a like if you enjoyed. If you are just feeling relieved right now as a Tottenham fan, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. You can find regular Tottenham content over here. I'm so happy I've picked up the camera and done sort of like an instant match reaction, because it's been so rare that I've been able to do it and be in such a good mood this season. I've even got my Tottenham shirt on, which is crazy. This hasn't been dug out of the drawer of the wardrobe too often this season, but we did it. Now look, it's I think it's a tough game at the weekend. I can't even remember who we've got. My brain's so frazzled at the moment, but who cares? Tottenham are in the Europa League semi-final, the final four. I know everyone was feeling a little bit down after the Arsenal result midweek, but Tottenham have done something good themselves for once. Let's go all the way. Enjoy the rest of your week. I will see you for another video very soon. And as always, come on you Spurs.